sham marriages for immigration purposes, stolen money. You are not going to want to turn this video off. Hello everybody and welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha Starkey. A lot of you know, went to Maui 3 times post-fire trying to help raise money, bring awareness to what was going on to the people there. So when this story about Hannah Kobayashi came out, of course it hit a nerve with me and I dug into it like most Americans. Well, let me tell you this. First off, her family is claiming that they have made contact with Hannah, but they want privacy. That's the only explanation these people are giving. Hey, since the beginning of November, we have made the whole country search for this woman. Thousands of hours of volunteers, thousands of dollars spent, the death of her father, and this is all we get? We touched base with her, she's safe. Anybody else confused? What looks like this is much deeper. First off, all these weird text messages Hannah was sending her friends is referring, from what I can gather, back to a green card scam. Maybe why she went to Mexico, folks, is to avoid prosecution from the government, because it looks like she married somebody in a fake ceremony just so they could get a green card into the United States. And instead of paying her, they scammed her. Now, this has to do with her ex-boyfriend who left her in Los Angeles and flew on to New York with 2 other people who were involved in this scam. So that seems to be the reason Hannah disappeared, seems to be the reason Hannah ended up in Mexico. But the real question is, what about the GoFundMe page, which raised, look at this, almost $50,000. Now, this is one of 2 GoFundMe pages with people making donations of up to $1,000. People are furious. They want their money back. People on X, people on Instagram, people on Reddit, everybody's talking about this. They feel like they've been scammed. She wasn't kidnapped. She wasn't human trafficked. And she didn't disappear. She actually disappeared herself to avoid being in trouble over an illegal green card scam. So what do you think? Do you think that people should get their money back, especially if they ask for it? Because I'm not joking. People are mad.
Maui and going to see her aunt in New York City.
Okay.
And then she landed in LAX. And then she didn't get on her connecting flight. So her father actually came from Maui to LAX and spent like 10 days combing all around the airport trying to find her. Couldn't find her. He committed. Then now they're releasing CCTV images of her actually going into Mexico. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that, of course, there's a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
And people have contributed a lot of money to try to find her. But now the family says they need that money to pay for the dad's funeral.
Okay.
And now people are saying, like, but we didn't give the money for the dad's funeral. We gave the money to go find her.
And now does
they want a refund.
Well, the moral of the story is, thank God that she is safe. I personally feel like, had I been one of those people that donated to this, I would expect a little bit more than the only statement you're going to get is, we made contact and she's okay and leave us alone because now we need to deal with it. I'd be a little upset, folks. I do believe that the beautiful 800 and something people that helped raise almost $50,000 in this one GoFundMe deserve more of an explanation from the family attorney. Because it also looks like now they're kind of fighting and squabbling over who's going to get the money. Is it going to be the aunt or is it going to be the mom and the sister? So a lot going on with this family, especially with the unexplained death of Hannah's father. So if you'll hang out all the way through to the end, you'll see the best clips because they are yet to come. But before we go any further, I want to talk to you about how you're feeding your dog. Yes, I know it's a totally different topic, but I think it needs to be said. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do I keep my animals safe? Is kibble safe? Is raw safe? What happens if I swap them? How can I afford to put them on raw? So I have the gentleman, Mr. Richard, who's actually training my 2 large breed dogs, a Dogo Argentina and a German Shepherd, into home canine protection. I have a short clip for you guys. If you watch the clip through and you decide you want to feed raw, you can use code STARKEY2024 and get a discount. I'll have my dogs back in a couple of weeks. They will be trained to home protection personal protection for my safety and for my family's. And not only does he do that, but he boards dogs, he trains dogs, and he has his own dog food. But I did want to show you, we decided versus putting up a fence and having someone come in and do a chain link fence for a half an acre in Louisiana was $7,800, the cheapest I could get it. 86 was the most. So we went and got these panels and I'm gonna tell you what, the panels and getting help to put it up was less than $3,000. So think through fencing before you spend a lot of money feeling like, you know, you've got to have some kind of $8,000 fence to keep your dog safe. So I just wanted to show you that. Enjoy this last clip. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this Hannah nonsense.
For those of you following me, you know about the giveaways. But the Foundation Raw is something that I started off pure passion, and it's something I'm really still passionate about. I did a lot of research to try to understand the difference between feeding kibble versus raw. And as much as I Googled, the information was so overwhelming on how much healthier it was for my dog, because at the time I was feeding kibble. And I was feeding kibble because that's what I was always taught. My dad did it, my grandfather did it. It was just something that you fed your dogs, you feed your dogs kibble. And I remember the times and the days where people would say, if you feed your dogs blood, it makes your dogs aggressive. That's so far from true. So I started the Foundation Raw. I was in my house, I was taking grinders, buying all the stuff from the butchers, running them around. I thought it was a really cool project and something that I was moving in the right direction because how healthy and beneficial it was for my dogs. But it became time consuming. So I ended up partnering up with a company that's been doing raw dog food for over 40 years. You're talking 40 years of experience, guys. You know how many dogs have been fed in 40 years? So the goal was this. And for me, this is one of the most important things, affordability. I needed this to be affordable for everybody to be able to transition their dogs from kibble to raw. Why? Because it's more beneficial for the dogs. And this, for me, isn't about the elite being able to afford to feed their dogs a raw diet. It's about making the dogs healthier, giving the dogs a longer life, more energy, less vet bills, less stools. The overall impact of what the pros are from feeding a raw diet. And listen, I get this all the time. Feeding a raw diet is not complicated, it's not hard. It's actually just as simple as feeding kibble. So if you go to ifeedraw.com, our website, I actually have an educational link. You can click on it, or you can pick up the phone and call me. We're a family-owned business. We're not press 1 to get the operator, press 2. It's none of that. You call the number 225-888-0025. This is Richard DeBerry.
Auntie Larry Pigeon, who has been speaking out since the 30-year-old's disappearance nearly a month ago, now says she is parting ways with Hannah's mother and sister. It appears there was a disagreement over how to use the funds from a GoFundMe account, which has raised nearly $48,000 so far. In a statement, Pigeon said, quote, "I believe every resource should be dedicated to finding Hannah. I chose not to lawyer up and risk having my voice silenced in the fight for her." Now, Pigeon says she is traveling soon to Mexico to look for Hannah. Meanwhile, there's a new lead in Kobayashi's disappearance. As Ben Gutierrez reports, it appears she got married 2 weeks before she went missing.
Kobayashi's family wants to know if she was involved in an immigration marriage scam before she went missing. Reports say the FBI is also looking into it. An attorney for Hannah Kobayashi's family confirms that they received what may have been a big clue weeks ago. A photo of Hannah with an Argentinian man appearing as if they had gotten married.
There was a purported wedding, like a Hawaiian beach wedding photo, and this information that was sent to Sydney, Hannah's sister, on November 15 on Facebook Messenger from somebody that said that she got it from Reddit.
The attorney says Kobayashi's sister turned that information over to police and then stayed quiet about it until the Los Angeles Magazine broke the story yesterday. But the family now backs the report that says Kobayashi Kobayashi apparently sat next to the Argentinian man on her way from Hawaii to LAX last month. It says the man's girlfriend, along with Kobayashi's ex-boyfriend, were also on the flight. Soon after that, Kobayashi sent a text message that said, "I got tricked pretty much into giving away my funds for someone I thought I loved." Kobayashi's family also found some immigration documents at her home, leading to speculation she was duped into a marriage scam. But it's still just a theory.
Neither I nor the family have any confirmation that Hannah was married, let alone sort of a fraudulent sham marriage of any kind that was paid for.
The family's attorney is also focused on Kobayashi's move into Mexico on November 12th. Police have said she walked across the border on her own.
That's not necessarily voluntary. Just because some man is not dragging her by her hair, that doesn't make it voluntary.
To date, the investigation has not uncovered any evidence that Kobayashi is being trafficked or is the victim of foul play. She is also not a suspect in any criminal activity.
LAPD said earlier this week the case will remain open, but they won't pursue Kobayashi into Mexico.
Now that she's there, it feels like they're kind of washing their hands clean of the situation.
Despite their frustration, the family is expecting to learn soon whether Kobayashi was indeed secretly married.
I think that once we, which should be by tomorrow, we have more information about whether there was even a marriage, we will then next move on to interviewing individuals that might have been involved in the marriage or the relationships.
Azaria and Kobayashi's family are also now more concerned about her safety. The U.S. State Department has asked travelers to reconsider going to Tijuana and Baja California because of violent crime and gang activity often linked to drug trafficking.
Knowing that her sister knew she was possibly married in a scam marriage, basically to defraud the American public, right? It's our taxpayers paying for all this, folks. Knowing that, do you think the family should be held accountable for returning every single penny of the GoFundMe? I'm curious to know what you think, folks, because it's good people like you that send this type of money to help families. And I think this is going to put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.